What's going on, guys? My name's Armando, and today's video we're going over some exciting new product coming to the Canyon and Colorado communities, and that is finally some Swaybar endlink quick disconnects. Well, if you've been following the channel for quite some time, or at least since we had our Colorado ZR2 since the start of 2024, one of the first trails we did with the Colorado ZR2 in stock form was Fins and Things down in Moab. Now in that video, we actually revealed we had one modification done to the Colorado, and that was our homemade Swaybar endlink quick disconnects that my brother had designed for my Colorado ZR2. So you can see it's pretty basic. It's just simply some all thread with some two kind of cheap spherical bearings on the end of it, with some more all thread and holes for these pins. And I had teased, we thought about making these. We did have some interest, but life got in the way and we just ended up not wanting to do it. But luckily, there now is a solution. So now there is an actual solution on the market for disconnecting your sway bar, and that is from Level Up Suspension. And this right here is the brand new Swaybar endlink quick disconnects, again, by Level Up Suspension. And this fits all Colorado and Canyon models, excluding the Colorado Work Truck LT trim and also the Z71 trim. It works on all other models. So as you can see, from my homemade one to this new final production here from Level Up Suspension, you can see what a difference in quality and size. And I ran these for a solid year with no issues, and these, as you can see, they kind of look worn, and that's because I have been testing these specific ones for the last 2 months. I've hit about 1,000 miles of trails, and they have been absolutely fantastic. So some of you might be asking, well, that's great, but what's the purpose of this product and what are the benefits of this product? So to put it simply on what the purpose of this product, it's to quickly disconnect your sway bar. And how you do that is simply pull the pin. There's basically a pin on each side. Pull this portion out, and then this section will be either connected to your spindle. If it's on the top portion, on the bottom portion, it'll be on your sway bar, and then it would just simply slide it out and your sway bar is disconnected. Now, what is the benefits of this? There are a few. One of the main benefits, easily hands down the biggest benefit from quick disconnects, is, especially with IFS vehicles, independent front suspension vehicles like the Colorado ZR2, any washboard roads or any rough roads that you plan to go down, it makes a night and day difference having your sway bar disconnected versus connected. It is such a smooth experience. It's like the equivalent of you going down a rough road at 45 PSI versus 15 PSI. It's that big of a difference, also including airing down and disconnecting your sway bar. Another really big benefit is articulation. Now, I don't unfortunately have an RTI ramp by me, or I don't know of any. If you know of any RTI ramps anywhere in the Salt Lake City region, let me know down in the comments, because I would love some hard data to show you guys. But what I do have is just my personal experience. And when I did have in my first homemade version, which is disconnecting, I did go with Colorado ZR2s that were similarly spec'd to mine as far as modification that I have. And I did notice on certain obstacles, taking certain lines, the same lines, you do get slightly more articulation from it having disconnect. I don't know the exact numbers, unfortunately, but there is a slight benefit of having them disconnected. Now, if it wasn't beneficial, why would companies like Ford and Toyota spend millions of dollars in research and development to have electronic sway bar disconnects for their IFS vehicles? Just like the Bronco has that, and now the new Toyota Tacoma also has that from the factory as well. This obviously is just mechanical, but it still has the same effects. So I know some of you guys are gonna be in the comments saying, Well, why don't you completely remove your sway bar? Is that an option? Absolutely. Would I recommend it? No. And the reason for that, the whole point of the sway bar is to stabilize the truck, especially for highway and city driving. If God forbid you needed to make an evasive maneuver to avoid something on the road, you're more likely prone to crash or roll over without a sway bar than with it. Is that a guaranteed every single time? No. But you can take your own risk there. It's just like you don't have to wear a seatbelt. The seatbelt is there. You can choose not to wear it, but that is totally up to you. For me, especially with my truck having all the additional weight, I would want the option to have my sway bar when I'm on the road, and then when I'm off-road, I can easily disconnect it. So to show you guys what comes in the kit is all kind of laid out here on the table, at least the main components. So we have, obviously, first and foremost, we have the endlink, which has the 2 spherical bearings. Obviously, you get 2 of these. Then you have these pins that connect to the spindle and sway bar. This is where the spherical bearing goes through and how the endlink mounts to. You can see there's a pair here. You get another pair for the other endlink. You then also get these guys. There's this type of washer. If anybody can let me know what type of washer this is, that'd be great. Leave it in the comments below. Then you get a rubber bushing, and then you also get one more flat washer. And obviously there is a set of 4 of these. You can see here's the other set, and then there's 2 more after that. Then you have your locking pins. There's obviously 4 in total. And then last but not least, you get this little bracket here, this nut and bolt with 2 washers, and then this 6-inch bungee cord. If you're wondering how this all works together, we're now going to install it. Quick note before jumping into the install, if you are interested in the disconnects, you could use code OUTLANDISHOVERLAND at checkout and save yourself 10% off. So for the factory endlinks, obviously I've had these removed for quite some time since I've had the homemade quick disconnects and now the level up disconnects now for the last 2-3 months. How you would remove these, you need a 21 ratcheting wrench and then a 10mm wrench that you just hook on here, and then you would just simply loosen just like this, where you're using the 21 to loosen and the 10 to hold it in place. And just like that, you'll end up loosening it. You're obviously gonna do this for the other side as well and repeat it on whatever passenger or driver side you're on. All right, as you can see, the factory endlink is removed. So now going into installing the disconnect. So first step we're gonna do is install these pins. So this whole process, we're currently on the passenger side, is going to be the exact same thing for the driver side portion. So first thing we're gonna need is this pin with a washer and a locking nut. And this pin will mount, one of them will mount on the sway bar here. It's gonna be, the pin is gonna be facing towards the tire or outside of the vehicle. And then on the spindle up here, you can see there, it's going to be mounted like this, facing the front of the truck. Now, the final production version will have a 22mm hex on the inside here, which will make it much easier to mount. And the nut itself is also a 22mm, so you're gonna want to tighten these down, both down, and we'll be ready for the next step. So after installing the pins where the endlinks are going to connect to, your pins should look identical to what we have here. You can see on the sway bar, the pin is facing the brake caliper, and then on the spindle portion, it is facing towards the front of the truck. Again, this is going to be the exact same process for the driver side as we are currently installing it on the passenger side. The last thing you're going to have to install is this little bracket right here, supplied in the kit. You're gonna have a washer and the bolt just like this through this, and this is going to mount. You can see in the frame there is that hole that is existing. It's going to mount just like this. So you're going to be able to access the bolt, as you can kind of see there, through here, where the supplied other washer and nut is going to be put on the inside. This hole and bracket can be mounted on either the passenger side or driver side, as this hole in the frame exists on both sides. So that's personal preference. We're gonna go ahead and mount it on the passenger side. this does, both the washer and bolt take a 14mm socket. After installing that bracket, you may be wondering, what is the purpose of this little bracket? And well, I have fully now disconnected the sway bar. I disconnected the other side that already had the quick disconnect installed. And the sway bar, the problem with the sway bar, once you fully disconnect it, there is nothing holding up the sway bar. So while you're off-roading, over time with vibrations, the sway bar will eventually end up dropping, and you can see there, it basically hangs on the floor and it can be a hazard to catch a rock or catch something. So in order to prevent that from happening, that is what this little bracket is for there. And the supplied bungee cord with the carabiners at the end is simply just hook on there. Sorry, I'm doing this with one hand, so it's a little harder, but simply once you finish disconnecting, you just hook it up there, and you can see it basically holds up the sway bar almost at factory height, so that way it can't drop down and get caught up on anything. All right, so now after showing you what the purpose of this little bracket was for to hold up the sway bar when fully disconnected, I'm going to show you how to connect the end links properly and install them properly. This would be the same process as if you were disconnected and wanted to reconnect again. So you're going to take your end link and you're going to slide it either on the top or bottom. It doesn't really matter. You can see there I slide it on the bottom, and then simply hook it up to the top there, slide that into the top as you saw there. And then the next thing you're going to need is these guys. So this is that weird washer that I don't know the name of. You'll need the rubber bushing, and then you'll need the flat washer. So the order of how this is installed, it goes installed like this. The smaller kind of round end goes towards the end link, as you see how I'm installing it right here. Just like that. Then goes the rubber bushing, and then after the rubber bushing comes the washer here. So you can see all three have been in place. So now we take our little pin here and we slide it into the retaining hole that's there, clip it in there, and there you go. That's one side retained. We're now going to repeat the exact same process for the top portion with the same order of operation. You can see there, it's just like this. It's sliding into the pin just like this, with the smaller side of that kind of cone shaped going towards the spherical bearing. So we're gonna do the same process up here. We got that in, and then we're gonna take our retainer pin here and we're going to slide it up in here. Now, I personally, to make this easier when obviously installing and removing at the trailhead, I typically turn the wheel that I'm going to be working on, and it makes it a lot easier. You can crawl under it too, it's just personal preference, but you can see there, that's how easy it was to install. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to disconnect the sway bar end links. So we just showed you how to connect it. Now I'm going to show you how to disconnect it. So same thing, pull the pin, slide all these washers out of the way, pull the top pin, slide all the washers out. Typically, I turn the wheel whichever way I'm pulling it out, and then you simply push the top, give it a good hit, then you push out the bottom, and boom, the end link has been disconnected. And then you just repeat the same process on the other side. Well, that's how you install the end links and how easy it is to disconnect and connect them. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'm obviously gonna link them down in the description below. Make sure to use code OUTLANDISHOverland at checkout and you'll get 10% off your order. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more awesome content like this, and we'll see you guys in the next video.